Hey guys, my name is Lilly and today I want to show you how you can save a couple of $100 each year on electricity using this simple solar system. Stay tuned. Alright, so as you guys know, here in Europe the electricity bills are skyrocketing and mine has gone up 80% in the last year, so that's going to be a big problem. Electricity is going to cost significantly more and is definitely not on the cheap side anymore. So what can you do to reduce your electricity bill? So first of all, of course, you can save electricity by using more efficient lighting or by switching off, I don't know, devices that you don't need, by switching off lights when leaving the room. But besides those measures, there's another thing that you can do to reduce your electricity bill. And one thing is to install a solar array on your house. Now the problem is that those solar arrays are mostly very expensive and not everybody can afford those. And I've gotten some offers from companies that are doing solar arrays, and a solar array with about 5 kilowatts costs around 12 to 14,000 euros right now. So it's really expensive. That's without the battery. So a lot of people don't have that money right now, but there's still one way how you can save a couple of $100 at least in a year, and this is by mounting a small solar panel somewhere on your garden shed or on the roof of your house and using it together with a grid tie microinverter. So this here is one solar panel that I got. It has 375 watts. Now the reason why I've chosen exactly this wattage I will give you later, but first I want to show you the system. So here you can see the solar panel, and actually now it's February and it's in the sun, although it's behind my house. So that's a good thing, right? In Austria we are allowed to install solar panels with up to 800 watts, and with allowed I mean that you can install it yourself and you just need to tell the provider of the grid that you have this installation now, and then you're fine. So you don't need an electrician or some other professional doing this job. So you can do it yourself if you stay below 800 watts. Now if you want to go beyond 800 watts, you need to hire a certified electrician who takes over the work, and the provider of the Austrian grid can say no if it's not done correctly. So that's why a lot of people are now buying these small solar arrays, because you don't have a lot of bureaucracy that you have to go through. So if you're staying below 800 watts, then you're going to be fine. You just have to fill out one form to tell the Austrian grid provider that you have this installed, and then you're fine. You don't need a certified electrician, and this is why these systems have become really popular. And actually a lot of people, they hang solar panels like these on their balconies, and that's why we call them balcony plants here in Austria, which is really funny. So this here is the solar panel, and it's nothing special. So it has 375 watts. It's monocrystalline, and I've mounted it on a few simple rails which are made out of aluminium, so nothing special about that. Also here I have used 4 clamps to clamp down the solar panel, and then the solar cables come down here and they go into the shed. I also have used some foam so that the cables don't wrap over this sharp corner. Okay, and then this is where the solar cables come into the shed. And again, I have used some electric housing for extra protection. And yeah, then the positive and negative wire goes into this microinverter. And this microinverter can make up to 800 watts. It's by the company DEE, and it's actually approved by our grid provider. So we are allowed to use this brand here. And it's actually a pretty good one. You can also connect it to the Wi-Fi of your house, and then you can access it and see how much wattage you are producing. This microinverter can actually take 2 strings. So this is one string and the other string is here, so you could attach a second solar panel to this side. Now my problem is that the garden shed is not big enough for a second one of these big panels. Maybe I get a smaller one that fits this size here, the other side. Yeah, you have two outlets. This is the first one, this one is the second one. Right now I'm just using this one here. And then the cable goes along here and you will get a special adapter that you can attach a cable to, and this plugs into your wall socket. So this is a normal wall socket, and some electricians actually, they recommend that you are using an RCD before going into your wall socket for extra protection. So that's something that I want to install maybe in future. But yeah, this is basically the setup that I got, and it's working really well. Now what this device also has is a protection. So let's say a kid plays around with the plug here and it pulls out the plug and it touches both of the prongs. Now in that case, as soon as you pull out the plug out of the wall socket, this device will stop working, and it's working really fast. So if you pull out the plug really fast and then hold both of your fingers over both prongs, it's not going to shock you, because this has this extra protection device so that you should not get an electrical shock. So as you can see, this is a really simple system. Everybody can set this up. It's really not difficult. You don't need an electrician to set up the system here. And now I want to tell you about the cost of the solar panels, the cables, the microinverter, and how fast this will pay off with the new prices of electricity here in Europe. Okay, and here you can see a cost calculation of my solar setup. So this one solar panel, which has 375 watts, cost me 169 euros. The microinverter cost me 320 euros. The cable leading to the microinverter, 15 euros. 2 aluminium rails cost me 34 euros and 4 clamps, 6 euros. So altogether, this setup cost me 544 euros. All right, so 544 euros, that's quite an investment. And now we want to find out how fast this is paying back. Right, so here I got my new electricity cost, and this is the new price starting with March this year. So before that I paid like 19 cents per kilowatt, and now I will pay 32 cents per kilowatt hours. Now this is still very low, because I know other customers, they pay like 10 cents more, like 43 euro cents per kilowatt hours. But because I have a really old contract, they could not charge me with the highest tariff yet. So right now I'm paying 32 cents in euros per kilowatt hour. Okay, so first we want to take our 375 watts and we want to multiply that by 5 hours, because the average amount of sun here in my area is 5 hours. All right, so the solar panel is going to make me 1,875 watt hours per day. So now we want to multiply that by 365 days. Or actually, let's convert it to kilowatt hours first, because then it's easier. So that's divided by 1000 is 1.875 kilowatt hours per day, 1.85, and now we multiply it by 365 days. Okay, so now we got 684.37 kilowatts per year. And now we can take our price that we have. So 684.38 kilowatt hours, 0.32 euros per kilowatt hour. is 219 euros. So this is how much this one solar panel is making in a year. Now I could add a second solar panel, so then I would get 440 bucks roughly, but I only have space for one solar panel right now. So how long does it take to pay back for my setup here? So the cost of the solar system was 544 euros. And now we divide that by the 219 euros. Okay, so it takes 2.5 years until this cost has paid off. And then the solar panel is going to make you 290 euros all of the following years for the next maybe 15 to 20 years. Let's say the solar panel has a life expectancy of 20 years. 20 minus 2.5. So for 17.5 years, it's going to make 219 euros. So that's 3,832 euros that you're going to save on electricity with this one solar panel in 20 years. So that's a lot of money, guys. And if you add a second solar panel, it would make 440 euros in 1 year. Now let's do the same calculation with 800 watts, because that's the legal limit without an electrician. So 800 watts. Okay, so if you would add 800 watts to your solar system, then you would make 467 euros a year. And that's really good money. So this really pays off with the higher price now. And I expect that this goes up even higher. So now let's do a calculation with 800 watts. And let's say the electricity is up to, let's say, 0.43 euro cents, would make you 627.8 euros a year. So actually then the cost will pay off in 1 year, and from the second year onwards you're going to make 630 euros roughly in a year that you're going to save with electricity. All right, so some of you might ask why I have stayed with this smaller solar panel instead of going for 400 watts straight. Now the thing is, the company that I've bought this from, they did not have a 400 watt solar panel. They had some with more than 400 watts, but the problem is that those are too strong for my small Captain 1200 power station, because the maximum that I can attach to my power station is, where is it? 400 watts maximum with 12 amperes maximum. So that's the maximum I can attach to my power station. And because they did not have a 400 watt solar panel, I had to go with the smaller one, which is 375 watts. And the maximum amperage that you get out of the solar panel is 11.6 amps. So I'm staying below the 12 amps. Because if you attach more than 12 amps, it's not going to work. So, and that's the great thing about the system, because if the grid is running, you just plug in the solar panel cables into your microinverter and then you will get paid like this. But if there's a blackout, actually you won't have electricity, because if the grid is not working, the microinverter turns off. So then what you have to do is you want to pull out the solar cables from the microinverter and you want to plug it into your power station that you have. And then you can use the solar panel to recharge your power station. And that's why I've chosen 375 watts, because this doesn't exceed the requirements of my Captain 1200. Right guys, so this is how you can save a lot of money. And make sure that before you buy anything, first of all, you want to do a cost calculation, and then you want to find out if this is going to pay off in a short period of time. So it should definitely pay off within 3 years, and from then onwards you will have a lot of money that you're saving each year. So I really do believe that these kind of small grid tie solar systems really pay off now, especially with the new prices, and I'm afraid that the prices will only increase in future. So the more these prices increase, the more solar system like this pays off. All right, so I really want to thank you for watching, guys. If you want to see more videos, then make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. Stay tuned till next time.